Another juror has spoken, and this time it was to Turtle Boy. Let's get into this. I'm only going to be sharing the highlights because I do want you all to go and read the article for yourself. So please feel free to go on to Turtle Boy's website. This is the headline, and read it in full because it is fascinating. What do you think of Judge Canoni, Auntie Beth? Overall, the opinion of Judge Canoni from this juror is pretty good. They were very grateful that she was so attentive to the jurors' needs. This juror did say something of importance we need to touch upon. At times, I did feel there was a level of professionalism that wasn't being maintained, and that the severity of the circumstances was not always at the forefront. It bothered me that when there was an objection and her response was, "I'll let them have it," they, quote, think there was some bias against the defense, and in regards to who? Mr. Hollywood, Mr. Alan Jackson. I told you all. I told you. And also they noted Lally repeating questions over and over again that were, quote, well-established things that were already made clear throughout prior testimony. That damn fucking basketball game. And Turtle Boy asked specifically if it was hard to stay awake during Lally's questioning. And this juror said, "What, if anything, can I really say about this? You were there." The juror's got jokes. I like this juror. The witness that this juror felt that was most compelling? The medical examiner. Now this one's interesting. The most pointless witness. The two women that were in Aruba with John and Karen a few weeks prior to January 29th. And unnecessary, John's niece and nephew. I didn't see any reason why the children were brought into a courtroom to testify after all that they had been through. It could be that they wanted to be heard, but it felt wrong to have them on the stand with everyone watching. Literally, the witnesses that were brought on for motive, this juror felt that they were pointless and unnecessary. Oh, and here's some sass. Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, and Michael Proctor all greeted the jury and thanked them after their testimony. What did you think about that? These three men were a huge focal point of the trial, so while I wish I could have taken it as nothing more than a polite gesture, I did not. Oh shit. And in regards to Brian Albert, this is what I have said in every single one of my videos regarding Brian Albert, and I'm so glad that this juror caught on to this too. Speaking about specifically Brian Albert's testimony that he was asleep, this juror didn't fucking buy it either. I also find it hard to believe that a first responder's instincts, which are ingrained and become part of who they are over the course of their career, had this much commotion on his front lawn, and those instincts didn't kick in. Bam! We're not the only ones that didn't like Jennifer McCabe's testimony. This juror felt that she was off-putting, that her demeanor made it difficult to process anything she was saying. Something felt off when she continued to ask to be reminded of statements, events, etc., with evidence of her prior accounts. It felt like she needed reminders of what she had previously said before she answered to keep from contradicting herself. And about Michael Proctor, this juror felt that Michael Proctor's testimony, who remember is the lead investigator of this case, hurt the Commonwealth. Also the same for Colin Albert, because this juror felt that he was purposely elusive. Purposely. AKA he was lying on purpose. Yeah, he thought that shit out beforehand. And what about one of our favorites, the plow driver Lucky Loughran? What do you all think? Duh. They liked Lucky, of course. Lucky appeared to be truthful in that he didn't have an agenda. Because he didn't. He just wanted to tell the truth. Oh, and this is a good one right down here. Do you feel deceived by the inverted Sallyport video? Yes. Very much so. Just as we expected, the jury not knowing about the federal investigation caused confusion. They had no fucking idea who those ARCA experts were. So this juror understood that the Commonwealth and the defense didn't hire them, but they had no idea where they came from. Because no one would think that the feds would randomly come into an investigation like this. That's not normal. And what about this little shindig down here when the McAlberts thought it was appropriate to come into court? Oh yeah, this juror didn't like that either.
Skip this video if you don't love your mother. Which place would you choose for your mother? Click the follow, like, and share buttons if you choose heaven. I give you 3 seconds to choose.
I felt it was inappropriate. And I know you all are here for the main point, which is, let's talk about the charges. Given that the motions on counts 1 and 3 remain outstanding, I don't believe anyone should discuss this at this time. Anything related to deliberations and their outcome should be kept inside the courtroom. Now, some of you are probably going to be mad at that, and I'm going to have you just relax for a sec. We need to give credit to both the juror and Turtle Boy for both recognizing the fact that we technically still are going into trial 2. We're technically in the very beginning stages of this process. So it would be best for the juror and for whatever journalist is covering it not to push this. Because remember, we still have not heard back from Bev in her final decision on what's going to happen with these jurors. And the one thing Lally has been fighting against is hearing about the jurors' deliberation. So if Lally was to quote any of this going down, none of it would be even submissible in court. Like, it's a bunch of behind the scenes, like what this juror thought about certain witnesses. It has nothing to do with their deliberations. So it's amazing that we get to hear a little bit behind the scenes and this juror's opinion without compromising the investigation. And this is how it's done, people.